The youth across the country are slated to hold their Parliamentary Representatives 2021-2026 election this coming Monday. The elections are to be held on a regional basis, that is North, Central, West and East. In the Central region, which is Buganda sub-region, the youth contesting for this seat include Simon Senyonga Independent, Ivan Bowe Independent, Agnes Chebo NRM, Mike Katongole Independent, Moses Kasule Nup'S, Alvin Semambia Independent, Kasumba Javira FDC, and Zeditwaula Abdul Independent.
Leaders who promise much deliver less.
Miss Namale Immaculate is a 22-year-old finalist at Makerere University studying education and one of the participants in the youth elections. She started a savings group using 100,000 that she got from her mother. The savings group has evolved into a business and is supporting many youths.
So we started by doing daddies and chicken. I had someone, she's a district agent, Aunt Patricia. So she used to come to see how the project was running. She was inspired, she gave us a machine. To simplify the work, it is a sealer. Like when you're packaging daddies, you use that one instead of using candles. So even my mom was challenged, was like, even people from outside are supporting you. So she started giving us money.
Kanamwanji Ivan is a student who once had a dream of becoming a medical doctor, but this has since fallen through and is looking forward to training in mechanical engineering instead.
Ngizosoma okutuuka kwogwo omulimu gw'oyagala nyingi ate nga ne taata ssente talina bulungi ate kati kino kyose tekyetaagisa ssente nyingi.
Sarah Babidie is an incumbent Central Youth Member of Parliament. She's however surprised that her constituency does not know her or understand her well.
I really don't know, but maybe I'm not informed. Yeah, because even if you walk along the whole village, you might find when even no one knows the person. Yeah, maybe about the problem is with the leaders, the youth leaders we elect at village level.
We do work with the youth structures. You get my point. In some areas, when there's an issue and it is, let's say, maybe land grabbing, I've been visiting them.
Because the youth comprise the biggest part of the population, they are represented by 5 members of parliament from Western, Eastern, Northern and Central or Buganda region as a special interest group. As a special interest group, the youth have a big coverage, sometimes of up to 26 districts.
The army has not more than 40,000 soldiers, but they have 10 members of parliament. The young people who make 77% of this population in Uganda have only 5 members of parliament. Is it practical that a person who is representing Central Region can represent 27 districts? How do you measure his efficiency, his monitoring? A person in Eastern Uganda who represents 47 districts, how are you able to assess their progress? So it's actually the bastardization of the politics which makes people to think that, we have enough members of parliament. We do not have enough. We need to advocate for more.
Some of the youth, however, fear that they might not appear on the ballot paper because of previous dealings with the Electoral Commission.
The GISO, the DISO, the PISO, the RDC, all the security officers up to the DPC, all of them are working for the candidate of the party because they were recruited on partisan political party basis. Now, because of that, there is massive threatening. We have seen candidates who have been threatened, candidates who have been pulled out of the races.
Right now, I'm not settled, of course. I'm looking at a scenario whereby my candidature is being questioned. Of all the work we've done, of all things I've gone through, they're questioning my candidature, so I'm not safe. My voters should know that.
A complaint against a nominated candidate can be brought up by anyone. It can be brought up by a member of the general public and even a person who is not a member of the Electoral College. If they know and they have evidence that there is something that needs to be investigated or looked into deeply, then they are within their rights to raise such a complaint. So it's not true that a complaint, electoral complaint, can only be brought against a nominated candidate by a member of the Electoral College. No.
Some of the youths complain that they are only remembered during elections.
Onajja eyesimbyewo n'agenda mu parliament. Ye abatunuulira famire ye. Tiriya muntu atunuulira muntu w'ebbali nti bali bannange be nagenda ne nsaba akalulu. Kambajjukire nkole kino.
People who benefit, they are the people who are close those people. And those people, they're always available when it is time for electing them. But after elections, they disappear.
Some youth claim that the votes for cash issue is a big stumbling block, with some saying that they have spent big sums of money during campaigns.
Much more expensive than even the general elections. Why? They have been highly commercialized because of the high competition. So imagine that I'm supposed to be running for political office. I shouldn't be investing any shilling because I'm a special interest group. Well, not me, but most people, if they go in parliament, they will be traders. Because if I can invest 100 million for my election, that means in the first 1 week, if I'm given 300 million for my car, I can make a bigger profit out of it, subsequently in the other years.
We originally had set aside, or rather, appointed the city of Masaka to host this. But this is, first of all, we need to say that the regional delegates conference can be held in any place within the region. And so for that matter, moving from Masaka to Mubende is well within the region, and it's well within our powers as electoral commission to appoint a venue, which is what we did. And when we appoint a venue and we consider issues that relate to smooth management of the election, and we make a change, it is still within our powers as electoral commission, and we are facilitating candidates to get there. So at any venue within the central region, we can host this, and now for this purpose, we have looked at Mubende municipality. So we will be able to observe SOPs, given the big number of delegates that we're going to have.
The contestants want the Electoral Commission to attend to their issues, mainly to guard them against monetization of the electoral process.
Whereby delegates refuse to vote because they have to be paid 2 million and they paid 500,000. Now, obviously, that causes them to be extremely disgruntled.
Went out and had fun, and they were not available for polling day because they had money. And these are delegates coming from different places. With all due respect, receiving hundreds of thousands of shillings can sort of distract from the main business. So the core business of the delegates conference, for which we have arranged, accommodation and all things like that, is come, participate in the election, and then we will facilitate you. We're going to refund, and you'll sign off your money.
Aisha, a 23 stay-home mom, hopes that the new leaders will address their unemployment issues.
Fenga from Vuka Guaino Kwetekamu omutima ogutandika okukola gavumenti si yegenda okujja kuwa omulimu tekiriyo ate webesobola okuwa obusobozi nakyo kibeerawo neera ngerayo bagamba nti esobola okuwa obusobozi bateekawo era akakwakulizo mu bannaffe abo abanene tojja kumpa ssente bweziti osobola nange okukolera kino ogenda okulaba ng'onyigirizibwa n'ogamba owaaye kambeereyo mu mbeera yange oba nnime abayingira obubbi ne babuyingira ebityo we biri.
The venue for Central Region youth elections has reportedly been changed from Masaka to Mubende despite the candidates' complaints.
2 days from now, we were given sufficient notice that the election had to happen in Masaka. Just 1 day to the election, we are given notice that no notice is given. We are simply hearing from rumor that the election has been shifted to Mubende. My on-ground team tells me that from the interaction of the security personnel at the district level, the biggest threat is because Masaka is predominantly NUP.
We originally had set aside, or rather, appointed the city of Masaka to host this. But this is, first of all, we need to say that the regional delegates conference can be held in any place within the region. And so for that matter, moving from Masaka to Mubende is well within the region, and it's well within our powers as electoral commission to appoint a venue, which is what we did. And when we appoint a venue and we consider issues that relate to smooth management of the election, and we make a change, it is still within our powers as electoral commission, and we are facilitating candidates to get there. So at any venue within the central region, we can host this, and now for this purpose, we have looked at Mubende municipality. So we will be able to observe SOPs, given the big number of delegates that we're going to have.
A report by the United Nations Population Fund indicated that the youth unemployment is currently at 64%. However, there is a limited participation of the youth in professional and technical occupations and in paid employment.
They lack capital. Even the ones who are educated do not have capital. They do not have any hope of starting a business. So my hope would be, I am not out there, I will not say I'm going to create employment opportunities, but given the mandate, if I'm elected as a youth member of parliament, for us what we believe in is about the tangible experience. If you're dealing in chapati making, if you're into welding, for us we want to add on something. We are going to lobby the little finances, we want to inject there. So we want to find you when you're doing something small. Because
I wanted to have a limitation or regulation of people to be employed in public service. You know, someone works from 27 years to 60 years in government. But these jobs are supposed to be cyclical. Someone should take over after certain years because the population is growing. As you're aging and still in the country, you've reaped what you've reaped. Let other people come and take up opportunities.
Sharon Chomjisha, UBC News.